What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Avarice podcast. It's been a minute, long overdue. I have been meaning to get back into the TV companion podcast, the commentaries for the Wire series. I had a whole bunch of shit throw my schedule off a few weeks ago. Just hitting my stride again, getting used to the ins and outs of what I was doing before I had that week where family was visiting and I didn't really do shit. And then I got kind of balls deep into starting the Friday the 13th franchise and finishing the Child's Play franchise, and I forgot all about The Wire. Plus, The Wire doesn't really get me that much attention. Nobody really watches these or listens to them. I basically started doing them so that I would be able to bolster my content and put out more things more often. It gave me a well to go to for material. But being that it's a TV show that has been over for 10 years, I guess there's not a lot of people scouring the internet for so-called experts letting you listen to their drivel. I'm including myself in that, if you didn't notice. I'm trying to be self-deprecating. It's not working. Okay, so I already made my cup of coffee. I'm sitting down at the table. I'm going to take a couple hits on my bong, and then we will watch episode 10 of The Wire from season 1, called The Cost. Oh, shit. My leg itches. So the last episode, it's been a minute, fuck. I think was the basketball tournament between East and West. It was the first time they got a visual on Avon, and then they lost him. Trying to remember what else happened. I think that Burrell was trying to get the case closed up and the wires disconnected, the wiretaps, and the judge called and raised hell, convinced them to keep them on. And I believe that might have been the episode where Jimmy came to Daniels with the ultimatum of, okay, you're going one way or the other. Are you going to be a company man or are you going to do the right thing? I could be conflating a couple episodes or thinking of episode 8. We'll just have to see once we get the ball rolling here. God damn it, I did that right into the microphone again. I'm sorry. I have it sitting right in front of me, and I forget. I just watched Friday the 13th Part 4 before this. So if you haven't checked out my movie commentaries and reviews, go ahead and do that. But be gentle. Be kind. I haven't been at this that long. Still figuring it out, honestly, but that'll probably be a perpetual process. I don't know if there'll ever be a day where I'm like, yep, every time I can do this exactly how I want to. It comes out perfect. I think that's partly the beauty in podcasts, because they're so long and you can produce so many of them that you really have a chance to clear up anything over a long enough period of time. You may say something stupid. You may have a whole podcast where you sound stupid. But people are going to get the gist of who you are over the period of, 30, 40, 50, 100 episodes. So they'll kind of forgive you for your missteps at that point. Come on, yeah. Okay. Season 1, Episode 10 of The Wire on Amazon Prime. If you are watching along, get prepared. Son of a bitch. There was no advertisement. Man, don't cough, you don't get off, right? Shit. Weed just came all over my titties. Already. I am pressing play in 3, 2, 1, play. It's not HBO, it's regular ass TV. In my brain, I just heard the theme song to The Sopranos start playing. I'm not gonna lie. Woke this morning, got yourself a gun. Okay, this is Bubbles clean. He's been staying. Remember, he got the key from his sister so he could stay in her basement. Gives him the spot to hide out, get out of the mix, stay away from those usual habits and the people and those tendencies that he falls back into. And when he's really up against it and struggling, he can just kind of go sit down. Nothing's going to happen to you if you're just there sitting down. So now I think he's been clean for a few days, and he's just out embracing the struggle, enjoying the beauty of the day, the fresh air, the sunshine. But he also sees people slinging, and it's tempting. Everybody knows he's a fiend. It's hard to change that perception. It's hard to remove yourself from that. It's comfortable. People get comfortable with damn near anything. And junkies get comfortable with that life, that grind. Not a lot of dialogue here, not a lot of words, just all feeling. The expression on his face conveys to you exactly the struggle that he's going through. And if you walk through the garden, you better watch your fucking back. Because Omar's out here and there's hustlers slinging crack. Stringer's running shit on the sneak tip. Avon's hiding out with a freak bitch. Ow, shit. Weebay's hard as a rock. D'Angelo someday's probably gonna get shot. Wallace was a good kid, now he's steady trying to cop. And if Avon finds out, he'll probably get popped. Bodie's an up-and-comer. He's also pretty hard. Maybe he'll lease a Hummer and take out a MasterCard. I don't fucking know. I didn't intend to start rhyming when I started. Like, it just kind of happened. I automatically want to sing along with the song. I've already done that for almost every episode. So, and one of them I got a copyright complaint because me singing the song with it in the background lined up enough for the copyright bots to flag it. I got it released, but it's kind of, I don't want to risk that again. I'm not trying to make money off of singing their intro song. It just gets good to me. So, Avon, Stringer, and Weebay are game planning on how they're going to deal with the imminent threat of Omar. So Avon actually, which is a solid character move, he acknowledged that he was wrong and the advice he got from Stringer was solid advice, that they should kind of try to call a truce so that they can maintain their business. But their potential, like their solution is to tell him everything's cool and then fuck him over and go back on their word. And once you do that, your word don't mean shit. He's dead, but other people are going to know. Now he's giving Stringer the rundown on the cops following him in the last episode from the basketball game. So they have no idea the size of the opposition they're facing. They don't know that this case is mounting against them. They're completely unaware of it. They just see these little things, these little inklings, stuff that's a little bit funny. It doesn't quite jive with what they're used to. and they're trying to flesh it out. They're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on, but they can't quite put their finger on it. But they're playing defense. They're doing some things preemptively. They see something might be coming, so they're realizing that they need to take some precautions. Suddenly, the judge is a cunt in this episode. I think he's getting political pressure about his involvement in this case, and he's feeling the stress of that. So he's taking it out on Jimmy, because in his mind, Jimmy is ultimately the origin of this pain in his ass. Jimmy put him hip to the situation. He jumped on it like a dog with a bone, and now they are where they are. So he seems to be resentful of Jimmy in a way for getting him into this situation, but he took that bite. Nobody forced him. Now he's got to chew it. Jimmy's over here chewing his own bite. Jimmy's got kind of a weird walk. He looks like he's taking really short steps. His weight lands weird. I'm not one to criticize. I got a weird fucking walk too. But all my driving and leaning certain ways, it's like my lower back is twisted or something. I don't know what the fuck's up. Bitch, why don't you get a job? I'm out here risking my life doing illegal shit, grinding from sun up to sundown, so that you can sit in here and tell me about all the shit we don't have that you want? What you been doing? He moved her back in quick, and she was just willing to take, like, he was dating the girl from Orlando's for a minute. She was staying up there and shit. And I told you to pull it out your ass.
That's the main stash house. Say what?
Ooh, brother.
Who is he? We don't know. So y'all are just guessing he's on the stash.
They're on the main stash now.
Lester was checking the logs a couple of weeks ago when he picked up the pattern. Every time they get down to the ends on a package, somebody in the tower hits that page number. And then within a half hour...
God, I love the writing in this show. So not only are they able to get the information from the content of the phone calls, they're able to observe patterns in the phone calls. When this happens, this number calls that number. Then that number calls this number, waits for the and they're able to piece together the network.
Who always calls back from a payphone way the fuck out in Northwest. Same phone, same pattern.
So y'all think that he's taking the re-up order, and that the stash is somewhere near the Mondo one, right?
You are on it.
See? So you're able to gather from the content of the phone call that they're running low, and you're able to see who they're calling, and then you're able to see what that person does in response. And in response, they always send a page and get a call back from a payphone on the opposite side of town, and it's always the same payphone. So now you observe, okay, they're low on product, they call this guy, and then they get a phone call back from the other side of town every time from the same phone. The main supply must be somewhere on the other side of town near that phone. Excuse me. And here's where Wallace becomes a problem. I guess it's not in this scene. Oh, this is... Wendell O, as in Wendell, oh shit, I just bought drugs from a state police officer. Look at this Ninja Turtle looking motherfucker. Looks like Michelangelo stole Raphael's bandana. Orlando's so dumb. He already stuck his nose in this. He already let Avon catch wind of it. He already got his ass chewed out and told not to do it. And now he's about to get his ass busted and really be in deep. Talk about in too deep. Some LL Cool J shit. And you just lost that money. God damn it. You're a dumb motherfucker, man. And these guys busting him don't even know he's connected to Avon. I love the grin on the driver, though, when Orlando opens it, realizes there's not shit in there. He's busted, and they're like, yeah, motherfucker, you done goofed. Reporting you to the cyber police, and they're gonna backtrace it. Consequences will never be the same. That place looks like it caught on fire, but none of the furniture burned. Just the walls. They've got an extension cord coming from the telephone pole into the house. That's how they have power.
So what you got going for you?
That's a rough life.
Family. Mother dead.
The only person in this movie that seems to be able to get through to Bubbles is Waylon. And he's using him right now as like a rudder.
Let's lock the door so I can't go upstairs. Not the best you can do for me. Got a kid.
He can share his struggle with him. It's somebody who can relate, somebody who's been through it. At least a similar one.
Mother took him up Jersey way, said I wasn't fit to be with the boy.
Somebody who cares to listen to his story. Listen to how he feels. Because that's another problem with a junkie, is they burn so many bridges that by the time they're ready to turn it around, it's hard to believe them, and everybody around them's jaded. It's hard to develop a kind of genuine rapport again. That's where the meetings come in, and he met Waylon. So Waylon's got AIDS, and he gave it to his wife.
Look, forgiveness from other folks is good, but it ain't nothing but words coming at you from outside. You want to kick this shit? You gotta forgive your own self.
That's some righteous advice there. You're the one that's got to learn to live with you.
Son, brother. Drag your sorry ass to
Everybody else can avoid you. You can't avoid you. You've got to live with you.
strong enough to do this by
You got to
yourself.
reconcile that shit.
Getting clean is the easy part. Now comes life.
Is this one here with the
That's a good point too. It's not so much kicking the drugs sometimes as it is dealing with life after kicking the drugs. The harsh realities of real life drive them right back to the drugs, even if they don't want to do them. It's just how they cope.
outside the shithole and wait for some little project yo to raise up? This is McNulty raise no fools. 4 Fabulous crab cakes in the bag, 24 ducks in the box. Favors, huh? You all right?
McNulty knows how to take care of people.
What all them motherfuckers downtown say about you?
He put these dudes on a stakeout waiting for Wallace, and he brought them crab cakes and beer.
Copy that. 15 minutes.
That's man code. It's solid.
Stumble into my world.
You need a favor from me? Give me some in return, bruh. Not always. That sounded selfish. But there's a point where favors become taking advantage. You gotta walk that line. Even though D'Angelo's done moved his baby mama back into the house, he's still outside Orlando's fiending on this pussy. This bitch with the hairy upper lip, he can't get enough. He wants to take her over to the barber shop to meet Avon and get that lined up. That's part of why he's in a goddamn daze while he's at home with the baby mama and the son. He doesn't want to be around them. He wants to be back with this chick.
You want to lay back, let us work our case?
I'll do what I can. Still, I thought I might let y'all know Avon's people got in contact. Talking about they want to end the beef.
So,
Listen, Cont.
Omar got shot by Weebay trying to take down Avon.
That shit out of the manhunt.
I'm sure that they heard about it all over the wire.
They product.
See, Omar's smart. He knows that they're probably playing him. They're probably telling him everything's everything just so he gets comfortable coming out of his foxhole again. And then they're just going to cap him first chance they get. But you can see where him having a relationship with the cops comes in handy now. That's smart too. If you go to a hospital with a gunshot wound, they fill out a report. They got to know where that gunshot wound came from, especially in a city with this many murders and this much violence. So that's going to get filed. Avon's going to catch wind of it because he's got connections, because all the money spreads around, and Omar's not going to make it out of the hospital parking lot. So he's got to get the cops to get him into a doctor discreetly.
He says he can buy weed. Says he runs with some decent sized locals. Like who?
So Orlando got busted by the state police, which doesn't have anything to do with
Running through the decks and hiding.
the city department that's doing the investigation.
Alright, I'm gonna check around, see if anybody's working these names you're giving us. Make you full of shit, pal. Wanna know it quick. What happens to me while you check? Eagle Street. City jail.
See, so he's going to get set up to jail, and of course Avon knows somebody that's in jail. How's Avon not going to know somebody in jail, or somebody in his crew going to know somebody in jail? They do crime. They do illegal shit all the time. That's their business. So they steady have people in jail. It's almost like another business venture or racket in a way. They control shit in jail too, or at least to an extent. So as soon as Orlando walks up in that place, he's going to get recognized, and Wynn's going to get back to Avon. He's called him Trifling. Oh, shit. What does trifling even mean? What's the definition of trifling? Like, I can't even, off the top of my head, try to think of an example. It seems like it can get used in so many ways. Like, you trifling with this man's reputation. But then there, he just called him Trifling like he was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
The big fuck from the high rise. What's his name?
Lil man?
Yeah, him.
The one with the ironic name? Here we go. He's about to catch the page.
You ready? We're on it.
So they're camped out by the payphone across town that gets all the re-up orders. Jimmy's asleep outside the interrogation room with an empty beer bottle in his hand.
Drive home McNulty.
Oh, that's right. I think he scooped up Wallace, and he's been babysitting him. He's in the interrogation room.
And bunk.
And I think that Wallace spilled the beans. Yep.
Or Natty's put in Stringer Bell. Oh, yeah? Picks out Weebay bird and stink him for the photo race. Puts them all up for the Greeks.
You sleeping up on top of the table? Why not just sleep on the floor? That seems risky and uncomfortable for no reason.
Stick up boy. Jeez, what do you have over here? That fucking thing. Kid was ready. Barely had to push him. Whose case? Norris's.
See, Wallace was so guilty and putting so much pressure on himself mentally that he was kind of looking for somebody to come and set him free from that and let him be able to live his life again. He was just getting high and drowning it out. So Jimmy scoops him up, asks him a couple questions, and he's just ready to spill the beans. He's just got to have it off him.
Think about it. You tell him he's gonna have to testify? Yeah, we'll get there. Problem is, what do we do with him now?
The Wallace character is one of the first and possibly most tragic characters in the series. The Wallace character is a good example. It sets a tone. It lets you know what you're in for the rest of this ride.
Yeah.
They're not fucking around.
Okay. First thing tomorrow, man.
This motherfucker thinks he's safe. He's kind of disconnected from it all in this little satellite place. Just cutting shit. Just chopping up dope. Mixing it with vitamin B12. Packaging it. Feels like he's safe because he's kind of out the mix. Which is smart, to have your main source of shit be way away from all the chaos. It's like if you're big time, like Avon. He's a drug dealer, right? He's never have drugs at his house. That'd be stupid. Especially once you're suspected of shit like that. Like that weird, like where they know that, they used to know that mob bosses were mob bosses, but they could never pin anything on them. Think about if they just had drugs at their house. So then a random search warrant for your house and you get busted. Or you sell to somebody and they know where you live. That's not how, you don't do that. Oh. Done been recognized. Somebody dropped a dime. Phone a friend. Reach out and touch someone. Sidnor with the derelict heroin chic on. That's a stash house, all right.
So how long you been sleeping?
Barred up windows, security cameras and lights.
How long were you in Barksdale screwing
I wonder what kind of an arsenal they got in there.
Not wrong. He came down from the towers at the beginning of the song. Before that, I went for Ron your mom.
Angelo ever talk to you about what happened in the 221 building? With Pooh getting shot?
See, D'Angelo being nice to Wallace buys him this. Wallace stays tight-lipped about D'Angelo. He just says D'Angelo was good to him. He doesn't put D'Angelo in on anything. Because D'Angelo's fairly good in his eyes.
Nah, D was good to me. He alright.
See,
But D'Angelo, he was who you called at night when you saw the sticker boy at the Greeks, right?
Yeah, but he didn't go up there. It was mostly those tower boys.
I think I'm gonna cough. Hold on. Never mind, it was a burp. I don't know how I mistook a cough and a burp, but
Corroborated by the beeper logs and the pen registers from the project patrons.
this is big for them because they've got Stringer tied into a murder now. That's the ultimate goal of the detail, is to get everybody involved tied up in some kind of a charge.
Parents?
So having Stringer, which is like the number 2 in the whole enterprise, connected to this body is a big win for them. But they're such a broke-ass backwards city and so underfunded that they don't even know what to do with him to keep him safe until it's time for the case.
He's a kid, Cedric. Even if we clear the money, do you really want to put a juvenile...
I think they ultimately fail in that. Cedric even tries to take him to his house. I think that he runs away. Oh no, they take him to his grandma's out in the country.
Now? She's doing this right now?
Or his auntie's?
Hearing date or something like that?
Whatever the fuck. And Jimmy's wife's jerking him around about custody shit again.
Yeah. I fucking need a fucking lawyer.
Oh man, now he's about to bring the district attorney who he was fucking to his custody.
See over the yard out to the street.
Oh, such a McNulty move.
Well, that's a telltale right there.
So what? You trying to write a warrant for this place, right? Right?
They don't have any phone lines going into the house at all. And all the security cameras pointing out.
What do you see?
Freeman just pulled the dad move. They asked him a question, and he just looked at him and walked away without answering.
West side of downtown. Around Paca, Utah, Howard Street, mostly.
Storefronts.
Vacants, usually. 3 different holding companies.
Detective Transbeluski.
Now they're tracking down where the money's going. He's got real estate companies, storefronts, vacant properties, just buying up everything, making his money work for him. That is applicable if you're making straight money too. It's actually easier because you don't have to do all these shell corporations and all this fake shit. Take your money, buy things that'll make you more money.
Furthermore, Mr. McNulty,
Take that money, buy things that'll make you more money. It seems so simple, but most people don't do it.
and a crowded municipal market. This is simply unacceptable, Your Honor.
Be that as it may,
If you have $100 and you don't need that $100 in the foreseeable future, like you don't think that you're like if you're not gonna starve sans that $100, and you put it aside, and 6 months later it's $200 or $150,
Mr. McNulty has time
and then but you don't need it, so you just leave it, and then next thing you know it's $1,000.
I have a list of recent events, Your Honor, that justify
Or you could be like Rocky Marciano and have stacks of cash under your mattress that don't accumulate shit.
nope. Nothing.
It's better than spending all your money.
If this were possession with intent, I'd be a prosecutor with a plan.
It's one thing that drives me nuts. I don't want to use the blanket term poor people, but
In fact, as an employee of the state, I should not.
I deliver newspapers. I've been around a lot of people that, let's just say, they're hanging on to the bottom rung.
On an emergency petition,
They're not doing well.
take a deep breath, huh? Literally, come on.
And they like get a tax refund and they go out and fucking blow it immediately on new clothes, shoes, gadgets, shit that doesn't aid their survival.
Good. Then I'm going along.
And they're broke again.
Let's see when I return.
They get a little bit of money and they blow through it all back to broke because they're used to broke. That's the problem. They're used to it. So when they get a little bit of money, it feels like they're supposed to spend it because they're supposed to get back to broke. And that's where we are. That's where we're supposed to, that's our baseline. Nobody says you got to run out and spend your fucking tax refund. Fold it in half and put it in your pocket. Then in a month when your car needs new tires all of a sudden, or your fucking transmission needs serviced, oh, look at this. You got $1,000 to cover that. You can absorb it. It's like a mentality. I'm not saying everybody can do that. I know there's some people that are working as hard as they fucking can, 2-3 jobs, and their ends still aren't meeting. I get it. But I see a frequent example of the other thing, where somebody's bitching to me about why they're broke, or bitching to me that they're broke, and within a few conversations or a few times of just hearing them talk, it becomes abundantly clear to me why they're broke. I used to work with a dude who was always bitching about not having any money, but he would go to the bar like 3-4 nights a week. He drank this expensive liquor that came in this special bottle, and he was telling me about how he had a collection of the bottles. He was up to like 40. And he was in a pool league. He would go out and play pool, and he would also gamble. I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, you're bleeding money. No wonder you're broke. Dial all that back if the priority is to not be broke. Then stop doing that shit. You either want to do that stuff and be broke, or you want to not do that stuff and have the money. It's not both ways. It's like when people say they want to get in shape. You don't want to get in shape. You want to say that you want to get in shape because it sounds good. It sounds like you're being a little bit self-deprecating, and it feels like you're disarming other people because you're making them aware of the fact that you know you're not in good shape, and you're also claiming that you're going to start working towards something. So there's not a lot they can say from there. But people who want to get in shape they actually try. People who sit on the couch and eat and say, I wish I could get in shape, or I'd like to get in shape, that's just words. They're just trying to disarm you so that you can't give them shit for the fact that that's clearly not what they want to do. They want to sit on the couch and eat cookies. That was a little bit off track. Jimmy's out in the hallway talking to his fucking wife about, God damn, she's cute. She looks Italian. Good job, Jimmy. Way to handle it. Calm it down. Oh, that's right. He was all strung out on heroin. He's coming down now.
Ain't so hungry.
He's going through withdrawal. He's weak. Look at him. He's got like bodily depression.
How much were you using? I'm asking if you're going to be sick of my cover.
Now and then.
I've talked about it on another podcast, but you may not be aware. I used to be friends with a junkie. I had to cut that out of my life, but
You be like a dick.
I don't remember what he got busted for, but he needed me to give him a ride to Medford, which is like 5 hours away, to go to court, and give him a ride back, mind you.
Said he would if I guaranteed a
And I had this
he said, y'all
can of air freshener in the back of my seat. You know, like how you have like that pocket in the back of your car seat. So the passenger seat in the front had that pocket, and I had like a can of air freshener in there. So he leans his seat all the way back. The cap gets crunched against the rear seat and pops off, right? Then the can slides up into the seat and just starts spraying, just continuously spraying. And this was smoke odor neutralizer. And he's just spraying and spraying and spraying. And by the time he realized it, there's this huge spot of saturated shit in the back of his seat, and the smell is really strong. I haven't mentioned yet, he's kind of dope sick at this point in time. He's in the, I don't know if he's in the process of trying to clean up from heroin, or if he just couldn't afford it. He didn't have time to do it. He was nervous about going to court after. He throws up lung butter all over the side of my fucking car. All over it. Thank God it was on the outside, but oh my God. Just a confluence of events that led to him puking all over the outside of my car from being dope sick and having to smell that air freshener shit. So this is the parlay between Stringer and Omar. They're safety guaranteed by Prop Joe, so they must be on the east side.
Man's gotta earn a living, you know?
I don't know what he called Barksdale, man.
Oh, that's right. They've got Omar wired up too.
Have his shit taken like that. I won't do it.
Alright. Tell him throw me some cash then. Let me see.
Stringer's so smart and
Now I made for my retirement home.
supremely cautious. He won't even use Avon's name or acknowledge that he knows anybody named Avon Barksdale. God damn, the back of my leg itches. Omar knows they're bullshitting because he said, "I'll take your truce and why don't you give me some traveling money?" And they agreed to pay him. And he's like, "Bitch, there ain't no fucking way."
Still, we're going to tie to the brand and kill it. You know, for one
It was smart on his part to add that in, because if they'd have told him to go fuck himself and just be happy with his life, then he'd have known they were playing it straight. When they said, "Yeah, we'll throw you $500, he's like, "Fuck y'all. This is bullshit. They're just telling me what I want to hear." What are those called? Streamlines? My wife and I were just talking about those the other day, and I couldn't think of the name. Haven't thought about it since. What is this Friday the 13th house?
You sure, right?
Yeah, I spent the summer here when I was 9.
Oh, this is his grandma's. Out in the country. He doesn't know what crickets are.
When I was 9.
He's about to ask him what that noise is. Shit, I accidentally paused it. 34 minutes, 20 seconds. I haven't even mentioned that Wallace is Michael B. Jordan. Think about that casting. Think about how much of a star he is now. And for him to have this kind of pivotal role in this series, definitely responsible for turning D'Angelo against everybody. God damn, the back of my leg itches. Woo! Even though she's got a hairy upper lip, she's sexy. Kevin Durant looking motherfucker. Oh. Avon looks like he could be Kevin Durant's shorter, older brother. It's a shame that he's older than KD, because if there was a movie about Kevin Durant, Avon Barksdale should play him, no doubt. Okay, here's something I can pose. There's certain scenes or parts in this series that I just don't exactly understand what they're getting at, what's supposed to be so profound about it, and this is one of them. When Kima starts talking about her original commanding officer and him dropping the bracelets, that's even the quote at the beginning of the episode, and then he dropped the bracelets, ... I don't get the significance of that quote. Not the way that I understand the significance of all the other ones in the other episodes. When she's telling that story, I'm just not latching on to anything that's particularly profound, moral, motivating. I'm not getting the point of her telling the story as she's telling it. I know that it upsets her girlfriend to the point she gets away from the table because she hates the cop talk. She hates that Kima loves being a police officer. But and then he dropped the bracelets. Like, I'm feel free to fill me in, inform me, set me straight, school me, put me hip. I want to know. I don't get it. There's a few scenes like that along the course of the series, and I'll address them as they pop up. But so they ask her how she knows she wanted to be a cop. You can see her girlfriend's turned off by the question immediately. And unfortunately, I gotta piss. Okay, she's still field training as a cadet. The fuck's an FTO? Oh, a training officer. Okay, so she's getting the shit beat out of her by the perp. So that's supposed to be her ultra inspiring moment where she knew she was going to be a cop, is when this cool, smooth motherfucker walked up, called her Rook, and dropped a set of handcuffs. I mean, I guess. I'm just not getting it being as profound as I think they're intending it to be. I gotta step out and take a piss, so kind of listen to the show for a minute. Or plug your ears, your choice. Did you hear the good news? I have pissened. Oh, goddamn. Instead of busting them, because they know where it is, now they can just observe and get them whenever they want to. They just picked up their trash, because, of course, once trash is out on the corner, it's public. Oh, the state police are here to tell him about Orlando. Wendell O, as in oh shit. Shit. The ending's got to get sharper. Shit. Oh. I get him in the boat and he starts flopping around. Ooh. I don't know if that's good. What if Avon has a connection in the police department that can search up his name and tell him that he's in a part of an active investigation? I don't know if you want that in a computer. Orlando's his middle name?
Keep that back room locked. And even if I do get back there on Aaron, and they kind of shut down, they get real quiet.
You said you heard want to say something about maybe someone come into this house.
They're still using Harry Lip to spy from within Orlando's. Pressure's getting to her, and she doesn't have access. She can't just come and go as she pleases.
I don't really see that well without my glasses.
Oh. She can't see that well without her glasses. I think she's got some old lady glasses, too. Oh, yeah. Still hot, though. I still smack. Hairy lip, grandma glasses. You ain't gotta change a thing. In fact, you could just bury your face in the pillow and none of it's gonna make no never mind. She's got a hairy upper lip, though. She probably has a hairy asshole. Gotta do something about that. Did I just sit on a spider? Bunch of those little daddy long leg hairs just sprinkled around her anus. You go down there to give it a little sugar lick. Get some salt instead. A couple of pricklies.
No. He doesn't miss much.
They stashed Wallace out at his grandparents' house. Oh, right. I forgot about this. Bubbles is going to come clean, no pun intended, to Kima and let her know he's trying to get on the straight and narrow, and he needs a little help. And of course, it sounds like he's running game, but if it's real, he actually does need the help. That's the catch-22, is that you want to be there to help people who need it, but people who aren't ready to accept the help and are just running game, just see that as another hustle. Oh. Excuse me. He gives her a budget that doesn't make no fucking sense, though. Think he... What? A mattress and his own place for a couple $100? Motherfucker, you ain't got a job. How are you gonna sustain this? You need like a couple grand. If you want to make a go of this, you need a safety net.
Cooperator says he can buy wheat. Not from Barksdale, but how can you be sure? How much dope or coke do you think?
Higher ups catch wind of Orlando getting busted. They're trying to roll it into some bullshit thing and see if they can get... Buy bust, Lieutenant. Skim and move on. We don't do police work, we do police jobs. You motherfucker.
It's worth me
They think they're gonna roll Orlando up on Avon or Stringer? He's just a clean name for the liquor board, man. He owns a front that's their headquarters, and he owns it in name only. They keep him on a subsistence level. He's barely getting by. He needs them. He's not rolling in it. Shit, Omar asked for $5,000. No wonder they said no. Or I mean, they said yes. That's how he knows that they're tripping. We still cops? Think so. Okay, just making sure. Would have been so much more gangster if he said be easy. Be easy, Omar. Oh, my back itches. I'm like a bear in the forest scratching my back on the corner of the wall right now. Oh. An overweight dude at the airport on one of those support pillars just going to town. Getting off of an 8-hour flight with that sweaty middle of your back. Oh. You've been wearing you forgot to take off your rash guard. Got some fucking Under Armour shit on under there. Your skin hasn't been breathing. You got those weird wrinkles in your skin from sitting too long on fabric. Chemo will be going in back. I wonder if she identifies as a gay man.
I only want to remind Mr. Walker here that his plea agreement is contingent on cooperation. And buy bust on Savino Bratton is less cooperative than a buy bust from someone higher up on the food chain. If you can get Savino...
Oh shit, I remember what happens at the end of this episode now.
I'm better for you.
This fucking buy bust is a bad idea from the jump. Never was gonna work.
I need money for a lawyer, right? That's the story.
My God.
You got popped. Now he needs to get right back into the funds.
One of the biggest mistakes they can do is underestimating their opposition. And right now they're treating Avon and Stringer like they're dumber than they are.
That's my career.
Orlando got busted. They're not going to trust him once he gets out and he wants to buy weight all of a sudden. He's never asked in the past. And his story is going to be that he needs money for a lawyer. A 7-year-old could come up with that. He's going to get killed. They're going to tie up that loose end. He knows too much. He's too close. And he's in too deep. And Bubbles has made this deal with Kima. She's going to hook him up with some money so that he can try to set himself up for the future. And like I was talking about before, kind of remove himself from the game. Get out of that area. Get out of that mix. Start a new routine. Instead, he's over here having to walk by dealers and get offered shit and reject them over and over again. Oh, Kima's undercover. They're going to pick up Savino for this buy bust, ill-fated buy bust. They got Kima dressed up. She's supposed to be one of the girls from Orlando's club. He turns the radio all the way up in case there's a wire in the car to drown out. They want it to be so much noise pollution that you can't figure out if anything's being said. Now he's going to turn it up even louder. See, he's suspicious as fuck. They know what's going on. And then when he gives directions, he barely says them. Look at that old ass boat. That car handles like shit. They were driving on the wrong side of the road.
Negative 1135.
See how he just casually does that shit? They're way more aware and intelligent than they're given credit for, and that's why this fails. They're not smart enough to guess that the girl with him would be an undercover cop, though. They missed that one. You didn't count shit. You just fanned your fingers through it. You don't know how much money's there. He's going to come around the corner. Little man and Weebay are going to run up from the front. And it's over. Dunzo. And they don't even know where they are.
In an alley. I don't know shit. Half a block west of Longwood, maybe?
Yeah, that puts us about 8 blocks away. Pushing it a little closer. All units be advised, Warwick near Longwood, the north side.
So they're pushing in on the location that she gave, and she's wrong because the signposts are turned. The kids that work the corners changed the signs, the street signs, to fuck with the cops. And in this case, that worked. She's got a gun hidden in there, but it's taped under the seat, and she can't get it. And the shit's about to go down. And they realize they done goofed. See, it's over with. This is a problem. And now they kind of play their hand, because now they're driving around with sirens and lights and shit looking for her. Oh, goddamn. And they have that would be such a panic. Can you imagine the anxiety that they're feeling right now? And the frustration when you turn down an alley and it's not the right one? One of their brothers in arms, or sisters in arms, is under duress. She's being shot. You gotta find her. She's ultimately vulnerable right now. They do a great job of shooting this and making it feel frantic. Shit, they even got a bird out now. Ghetto bird. They find that shit with the quickness, though. God damn. What a situation to be in. What is... Oh, that's the open door. They found it. There's Orlando's dead ass in the front seat. Orlando's fucking trifling. Oh, Orlando, so stupid. So much collateral damage just now from Orlando being a dumb fuck. Kima's in the back seat, shot full of holes. It's just this moment of ultimate panic for everybody involved. And of course, Burrell told him to do this buy bust, and they told him it wouldn't work. And they sent Kima out there, and this Carver is beside himself. He looks like he could kill a motherfucker or two. Sidnor looks like he's about to throw up and cry at the same time. And the FBI just lost their 5 or 10 grand, whatever it was. She looks dead. And this is going to cause ripples through the whole... They didn't mean to do this. They didn't want to kill a cop or shoot a cop. This has implications widespread. And that's how they end the episode. I forgot that that's where we were going, but now I know, and that's why the episode's called The Cost. Sometimes you lose soldiers along the way. There's damage, both collateral and otherwise. And sometimes you don't realize the risks involved until you're shown them with complete and utter clarity, which they received right there. Another classic episode of a classic show. I can't get enough of The Wire. I mean, if I had got to watch nothing else for the rest of my life and I could choose The Wire, I'd probably choose The Wire. The Wire, maybe The Sopranos. It's hard, but The Wire's so good. Anyway, that is episode 10. I appreciate you guys listening. Check me out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, or just Google it, Avarice Podcast. Avarice Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me there. Like, subscribe, comment, all that good shit. Until the next time, this is Devin signing off and saying, be easy.